Yeah. Yeah, we got copyright claim for the fucking song. All right, sorry, I unmuted us. There we go. There we are. All right. Oh, there's you. Okay, I'm gonna get you in here, and then we'll get started, everybody.
To put the morning to y'all.
Oh, there we go.
Oi, chat.
Oi, oi.
What's popping, Chad? What?
You okay, Christian?
Yeah, I'm fucking great.
Christian thinks it's just absolutely fucking hilarious that the Queen died. He's just having the best day of his life. I mean, I'm right. That's why you're laughing.
That's right.
You've been doing nothing but making jokes since you got on here.
I was like, about the Shinzo Abe thing, I'm like, hey, he got assassinated, and that's weird. I'm not going to...
Yeah, that weirded me out. Like, that one I didn't want to join in. I just said nothing.
This is a 96-year-old woman who has lived her life. It's not a tragedy. Yes,
it's not a tragedy.
We're good.
It's like, I understand it's like it's kind of, there's like a... It's like the end of an epoch, and I understand people have feelings. Like, sure, I don't have feelings, so...
Yeah, right. What am I supposed to do? I don't have feelings.
For the Queen, you're a fucking weirdo, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what?
Okay, there's that. And then I just got to get the music up, I think. Let me see.
Finally found this Columbus shirt again. I was happy.
Where could it have gone? Just got lost in
just
laundry?
At the bottom of, like, my pile of laundry was all.
Sure,
like, it's not like it was buried in the backyard or something. Hey, I heard that.
No, Alon's work has been canceled since today. God, no.
Yeah.
You guys hear that? They hear that. There's chat.
I'm going to tweet.
There's this.
They look smooth on the stream. Do you turn up the frame rate? What's going on?
Should be this frame rate. I don't know. I updated OBS. Maybe it's just being better. We should be 60 frames per second. But we've been 60 frames per second for a while.
Somebody told me recently, like, I changed my webcam because I wasn't 60 frames per second.
I told you.
Like, well, Jeff is 30. I was like, no, he's not.
No,
yeah.
I should be. It might be just being a little weird sometimes, but I'm definitely 60.
Yeah.
You're 60? Oh, what a traitor to the art. And
Podcasts
Christian's
are
new thing is just lying or saying wrong things to me all the time in my Twitch chat.
I thought you were 30. Didn't you say, you definitely said like, oh yeah, you gotta get it on 30 FPS or some shit like that.
No, they told me I had to get 60 because I used to be 30 and
I
he
didn't
was
say
60.
I didn't say either of those things. I didn't.
Well,
I said I have 60 and you felt bad for some reason. I'm like, no, what are you talking about?
What if I
I
can
did
gaslight
feel
you?
bad.
You definitely told me you're 30. You should put your camera at 30, Chef. You told me that.
Well, like,
You should
okay,
forget.
what is the context we were talking about? Like, because not for the podcast. The podcast, I don't give a fuck. I just yelled at Christian, and I felt in the back of my throat the tickle. I felt the get sick tickle.
Get sick. Get sick, you fuck.
I make jokes about the Queen, and now I'm getting sick. She's here. She's already hot my ass.
Hell.
Yeah.
She's cursing her enemies from beyond the grave.
She's the new Danhausen. She's like, ah.
No.
Okay, let's see here.
Don't
Let's
say
turn that
that
off.
loud.
That looks good. All right. I think we're ready. I guess I
got
could
the song?
tweet. I got the song. I got a song.
It's God Save the Queen, right?
Yeah, God save.
Another one by
We're gonna. You got at least one comment on something
yeah.
a giant bomb. Like, I don't like that they're joking about the Queen. I just think it's so like I bet we're gonna get at least one on this.
Yeah,
and it's like, well.
Kind of like, oh well, it's how like, oh no. Well, anyway, that's kind of how I feel about it.
God save the king now. Oh, that's right. God didn't save the queen, so we're gonna see how he does with the king now. God looked. It's like, it's enough of that.
All right,
He's been preparing his entire life for this role.
Yeah. He missed the saving throw.
Oh.
We're American, so it's cool. I'm actually, at first, I was just making jokes just because I'm a weirdo, but then some people were like, actually, here's the reason why she's not good. I was like, oh, good. I feel slightly better. The immediate reaction was to just joke about it.
That's even better.
You should now realize that she's bad?
Oh, what? That I care enough about the queen to know what she did.
Right. What's the queen of Peru doing or whatever?
You're American.
I don't get this shit. Well, to be clear, some Americans really care about the royals, which is bizarre for a country whose whole thing was to say that the royals don't matter.
All right, let's do this. I'm gonna count us in. You ready?
Yeah.
What am I missing? Oh yeah, I was gonna hit the recording button. Okay, here we go. I'm going to count down, hit this button, hit record. We should be good. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be good, and yet I feel like we're not good. But whatever.
Well, it's because we don't have a super. No, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, but that's fine. Oh, you know what? I was gonna get the Discord thing ready so I could just have the questions. That's what it was.
All right.
I'm gonna do it right now. Opening Discord, muting it.
I have
it's coming through my Gamer browser. Shout outs to the Gamer browser, everybody.
You and your
I saw that clip of people complaining about your Discord sounds.
Yeah, I muted it. I muted it eventually.
What happened?
Pretty quickly. I had the Discord app open through my Gamer browser, and so it was popping off for Eternal Darkness with Bacalar. So people.
Well, that's just an insanity meter thing.
Exactly. So yeah, I do have this for that.
Oh,
that's incredible. That's fucked up.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Shit.
I told Riker about it and everything. We're going to play it off so smooth. All right, let's see.
That's fucked up. That's incredible.
All right, podcast producers. And
like
then...
Emilio just chatted, the queen sucks, and that was what I had to approve. Like, okay. Like, didn't say anything vulgar, just the queen sucks. It's like, whoa, are you sure you want the world to see what this guy said about the queen? So yeah, it's fine.
I'm ready.
Thank you, Google.
Ready. Let's do this. There we go. That's wrong. I want this right here. Move that over there, and then move this over here. Okay, I'm gonna count us in. You ready?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3. The internet, you're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the GameSpeak Decides podcast.
What's wrong?
I said GameSpeak.
I
was on a roll. I felt good about that.
I didn't even notice. Your energy was so good too. Let's just keep going.
And then of course I had to mess it up. Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games, so you don't have to think for yourself. I'm Jeff Grubb. With me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, we have news, we have games, we have America outliving yet another monarch, baby. We did it, USA.
We did it. Well, I can't believe you're joking about this, Jeff.
For the recorded part, you're gonna play it that way. Okay, fine.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, don't disregard anything I was saying before that.
We've been making jokes all day. That was probably the last one for me. I think I'm done now.
Well, maybe we say that we have to talk about the queen some more. So who knows what's going to come up?
God damn it! I forgot already. Okay, let's see. Let's actually, Mike, how are you doing? Let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll just get right into everything.
Yeah, I'm good. I think I've got a not too busy weekend coming up. I know there's like an Ubisoft thing on Saturday. I don't think that's getting pushed back. And there's I think I'm going on Unprofessional Fridays with you tomorrow, with you and Dan. We're gonna watch the Disney games thing, and then we're gonna play Splatoon 3. I'm just hoping maybe I get my Splatoon 3 code from Nintendo.
Hey, you and us both.
Yeah, before it's like, I guess I just gotta buy it now. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that happens tomorrow morning. But otherwise, whatever. I'll buy it. I want that game.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm pretty good. It's been a good week. I started off saying on Tuesday for Last of the Nintendogs that I don't like the short week because it never feels short. This week's already starting to pile up and feel like, no, this was another full week where we fit in more than what should fit into 4 days. But still, it's been, I don't know. It is going by fast, at least. I guess that's something to speak for it. So far, so good. I guess we still have Friday, so we'll see how I'm feeling after that, though. I don't know. You look like you're going to say something. I'm going to let you speak.
Well, no, it's just I went to the dentist this week. I don't know if that helped make the week feel longer or shorter. I think shorter, because
Right.
like every smart person, I always make sure I do it in the middle of the workday. So it's like, well, it's out of my hands. I got to go to the dentist now, everybody. So I'll see you all later. I think their office hours are probably only during like work hours, anyways, right? I've never asked. I just always make sure I do it when I should be working. So then I'm just there. And I don't mind the dentist. It's great. They love me. My dentist is actually a big fan of the '90s Disney podcast.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So wait,
does he try to like talk to you about it, like while you have stuff in your mouth? That's the thing I don't like. Okay.
Yeah, they're very good at understanding my muffling somehow. It's always impressive.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. You can get more from Mike and me by joining the Discord, GameS.net. If you want to ask a question, super chat right now, or you could join the Discord. We have a secret channel inside there called Podcast Producers. Join that. You can ask questions. You can also join that by hitting the join button here on YouTube. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who's Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating. Thank you to the mods. And it's patreon.com/GameS. That's patreon.com/GameS if you do want to get into all those channels I was talking about a second ago. All right, Mike, we got a couple of big topics. Let's talk about the Direct, right? Let's just get this out of the way.
Yes.
You were there when he said it, right?
I was there when Quarter Dan dropped this on us, the breaking news.
Right. So Quarter Dan, who is
source,
is one of the people we've heard about. Like, I have another separate source that says the week of the 12th.
I only have Quarter Dan. That's all I got.
Completely separate from like this. So it's like that. There's two things happening. Dan's line into Nintendo. Man, I don't like talking about someone else's source too much, but whatever. He's got good information that I trust. I think it's very reliable. When he went to take a pee break this morning when we were playing Sonic 06, he came back and said, breaking news, the Nintendo Direct that was supposed to happen next week might be delayed because the Queen of England is dying. Because at that point, she had not died.
She was not dead yet.
She was about to die, though, and it was very clear that was happening.
She may have been dead at the time we said that, I suppose. Right. We were too busy enjoying Sonic 06.
Yes. Yeah. So it's so then we hear that, we're like, okay, shit. And then I went to go tweet it, and now everyone's like, why would they do that? I'm like, guys, it's
yeah, it's like what, like it was our decision. Like, yeah, we agree. It would be a silly thing to do. The one thing that would make some sense, Jeff, is that you don't want to have your thing going on at the like literal same time as like the funeral, I guess, just because from a practical level, a lot of people are going to watch that, right?
And it's and you don't want to feel like you're counter programming the Queen's funeral, I suppose, if you're a corporation, if it does business.
Yes.
Like, I think it's going to be expected that if you are a business that does business in that country, you will take a time to stop and observe, and wouldn't do something weird like have a celebration for your upcoming products at the same time. So that I think that's really where it's at, where the conversation is probably, is this going to take place at a time when we were going to do, is the funeral going to take place at a time when we were going to do the Nintendo Direct? And they don't know that yet. No one knows that yet. And so because it's unknown, they are probably discussing this at the very least. No third parties have been told anything about a delay yet. So clearly this is still an internal conversation at Nintendo.
Yeah, and again, like we said, this is a conversation. I would not be very surprised, Jeff, if there is no delay, or if there is a delay, it's like a slight one. I still think we see this at the end of the month. At the very worst, maybe earlier in October. But again, they're probably being cautious right now, and we know Nintendo's cautious about this thing. So we saw what they did with Advance Wars Reboot Camp, right?
Yeah. Okay. Chat, stay with me. You guys think when we're explaining this stuff that it's like this is our reasoning. We are not speaking for ourselves. Like, this is like, we're not telling Nintendo delay it because we think it's like inappropriate. We're trying to explain it from Nintendo's point of view. So when we say something like, oh, it's a celebration, Nintendo may not think of it that way, but they're like, maybe it's going to be viewed that way. We're just telling you what we've heard. All right. And if you don't want to hear it, go watch something else. Go
do you
read
need some
a book.
Cupcakes right now, Jeff?
Yeah, give me some fucking cupcakes. Do you still do improv with Scott Colton?
By the way, let me tell you think about that piece of shit.
Just bear with me. Just think about it a little bit before you type your comments right now. It's very frustrating to have to be like you sounds like you guys want me to explain my reasoning. It's not my reasoning at all. This is craziness. Nintendo is considering it. That's all we know right now. They are having the conversation internally that they might do this. Who knows if it actually ends up happening, but at least acknowledge you could see why a company like Nintendo might want to react to something like this, because they don't want to conflict with the funeral of a beloved state figure. Of course they wouldn't. They delayed they delayed a whole game. Of course they're going to delay a YouTube video.
Yes, exactly. Like, why not? It's like, it's when do you push go live for your YouTube video? It's something that would be very easy for them to move back if they felt they needed to, and maybe they do. Hey, everybody, if you're watching, smash that like button, or else I'm going to make Jeff yell at you all again.
Goddamn right. All right. I think, I guess, Mike, let's speculate a little bit. If they do delay it, what do you think happens? Is it like a day? Is it a week? Do they just scrap it?
It could be a matter of like a day or something,
That's
or
what I think
just
too.
a little bit of a week. My only hope, Jeff, is that's not into October. Because I'm
pretty sure. I'll go get the razor right now.
I said
we'll make it. What'd you say? What'd you say you were gonna do?
I said I was gonna shave the beard if there is no direct this month. I think I said specifically if there's no direct and no Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. I can't remember. Let's just say direct. I'm already feeling anxious. I'll shave the beard if it doesn't happen. Now, it's going to be a technicality if it gets delayed because of this, but I'm still a man of my word, Jeff. I will still go through with it.
Really? Okay. Wow.
I'll do it. I've changed my mind. I know at first I was trying to cower out of it, and I saw the light.
You trying to see what it would look like by playing Disney Dreamlight Valley and making your character without a beard. And you're like, yeah, just the mustache looks pretty good. I'm like, yeah. My kids were watching.
I don't know. The mustache looked a little too hipstery. I don't know how mustache went from being like pretty manly and sophisticated to just being super hipstery, but that's all I can associate with it. Maybe it's because it's always with the thick brim glasses like this, right? And because I wear these, it's not a look I would associate with me. I will shave the beard first and see how it looks with the mustache, and then we might be, cutting that off too. We'll see.
I'll say that regardless of what Nintendo says or does tomorrow, I think we will probably know by tomorrow. If we get through tomorrow, and I've not heard from any of these other sources, and no one else has heard anything about a delay, I think we can safely assume it is going along mostly as planned. And if there is a delay, it is about a day. And they'll just be like, listen, if the funeral happens this day, we'll go the next day. And if the funeral is going to happen later in the week, we'll move it maybe a little bit earlier in the week. They're probably talking about something like that. I don't think they are necessarily going to like just wait an entire week. It's probably maybe that was a discussion as part of this conversation, but I think that for the most part they are just going to try to pull this off and slot it in, and hopefully think it's going to be okay. And maybe they'll have some message at the beginning. I doubt they will, but maybe they think they need that. Again, I don't know.
God, that'd be the worst.
It'd be the worst, exactly.
Well,
so
seeing the brands coming up like with their like messages in the black like backgrounds, like
right, exactly. Yes, the white text on the black backgrounds. I don't want that.
Okay, guys.
And I don't think they'll do that, but who knows? Again, who knows what Nintendo thinks they need to do?
Who knows?
Yeah, they still put all there's still that COVID message at the beginning of all of these things that they do, and I don't know. They're a corporation that thinks they need to explain themselves when they behave in this sort of when this sort of thing is going on, and we'll see. Still, though, I mean, the direct I expect it to happen before the end of this month. Still, probably next week, and I think you're going to be fine in regards to your beard. If you're saying it's the direct, and then we'll see how all this Zelda stuff shakes out, and
the Zelda stuff was still from Quarter Dan. It better also shake out. Well, that's how this whole thing started, was because we were talking about Wind Waker on like Twitch while we were playing Fortnite together. That's how the whole thing started.
Mm-hmm. And so, so you can also, don't yell at Quarter Dan, just yell at us. That's fine.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
fine.
we're the proxies for sure. Absolutely. He never told us to say anything to other people. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, hopefully we'll know by tomorrow. And then if it is going to happen next week, I would expect an announcement first thing next week. We should hear about it pretty soon. But this is speculation territory. The things that we know, again, we can go over this and we'll move on. A direct is planned to happen next week, at least as of earlier this week and throughout this month. It was going to have Zelda stuff. It was going to probably have Metroid Prime HD, because that's coming later this holiday. That is something we do know as well. And now the most recent thing we know is there was conversations internally, at least at Nintendo of America, about a delay. That's it. Bam, bam, bam. If you don't want to hear that stuff, I don't know what to tell you.
Somebody was like, how could that be? They're sleeping in Nintendo Japan now. It's like, well, people in Nintendo of America can talk too.
Exact. And like, they are the trusted marketing wing in America for Nintendo. If they're beginning the conversation that would then continue once NCL wakes up. That happens all the time. Now, of course, NCL is going to be the final decision. That's how it is for everything. But this is marketing, and in a way is the marketing division in America. So it's their responsibility to have this conversation. It would be weird if Nintendo of Japan woke up and Nintendo of America was just like not even like thinking about contingencies there. They'd be like, why aren't you doing the job we're paying you for? Oh, man, I'm heated, Mike.
You are heated, Jeff.
These people.
It's all good. Everyone loves you except me. It's fine.
All right.
People were nice to me about it. I didn't get too much flack. Apparently, you were getting flack. I feel fine.
It's for some reason Reddit just like
Reddit.
No, it was like I didn't even go looking for it, and I don't even subscribe to this Breath of the Wild subreddit. But it's not like it was like at Jeff Grubb. It was just like, what do you guys think of this? And I clicked on it, and it was my tweet, and it's like it was just people being like, he just makes stuff up. And I hope things come true. I'm just like, God damn it. I wasn't even looking for this. I tried to ignore that stuff. And of course it like still finds me.
Well, look, you've got so many things right there. They're just never going to be happy,
right, exactly.
I guess.
This is just
I'll do my
like,
best to shove it in their faces when it happens. But
but it does. It's like they are thinking of an imaginary version of me that doesn't actually exist. So it's like, what can you do about that? Jim versus Phil is the only other thing I put on this list, Mike. Basically, they're going back and forth in the press. Phil Spencer put out a quote to The Verge saying, hey, in January, I sent a letter to Jim and said, hey, we will keep Call of Duty on PlayStation into the future for years beyond the current deal. And he said something along the lines of, this deal is more robust than what you typically get in the video game industry. And that was like, people were like, oh, then why? What's Phil complaining about? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, what's Jim complaining about? So then Jim comes out and is like, actually, because he is airing our dirty laundry and he's putting this stuff out there, I feel the need to respond. And that's pretty much what he said exactly. And what his response is, this is inadequate. It was only for 3 years on top of the current deal. And he failed to consider the needs of our gamers.
How dare he?
Right, exactly. Now,
that sentence was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. This is mostly funny.
What are needs, Jeff?
Yeah.
Needs are like shelter, food, and water. Do you need Call of Duty?
Right, and this is like a multi-front battle they're having. Obviously, when they go talk to the regulators, it is Call of Duty is so important. It's the kind of thing that's going to make competing very difficult. And they always kind of like, whenever someone asks us, like, what about Nintendo? They're competing. They don't have Call of Duty. Don't pay attention to that. It's going to be hard. And so,
right, exactly. Yeah,
but
don't
then
worry
this side
about
of things
that.
is just like, Phil's saying one thing, but really he's only promising 3 years. Now, I don't think anywhere Phil's thing says only 3 years. It would almost certainly be a rolling deal where every couple of years they can re-up. Now, of course, Jim Ryan has every reason to be suspect of that and be like, well, one day you could stop doing that. Or Phil Spencer, you're going to retire and someone else is going to take your place and maybe they change their mind or whatever. But at a certain point, it's like, well, okay, so what is your alternative here? It seems like Jim Ryan thinks that maybe, at least in the UK, where he might have some good ends with the government and the regulators there, and like, it's his home territory, he at least understands how the system works there. He can maybe get some concessions written down in a consent decree or in a bilateral agreement between the two companies, or maybe a trilateral one between the two companies and the government to say, hey, Call of Duty needs to be on both systems. Not in perpetuity, but at least for like another decade or something like that. Something to give them a little bit more security that is a little bit more permanent than just Microsoft saying you have our word. Whether or not that happens, we'll see, but it's definitely something Jim Ryan's going for, and of course he is, right?
Yeah, sure. Of course, look, it's his job to be the person advocating for PlayStation.
Yep.
So, of course, it doesn't mean a lot of people need to take his position super seriously, and I guess that's if there's something surprising, it's how people are taking that position seriously. Look, if Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard, then they can sort of do what they want. They have that power. Now, I get that Jim Ryan's whole thing is, well, this is why they shouldn't be able to, because Call of Duty is actually that important. And that really is the crux of this whole argument, I guess. And I don't know. It's this weird thing. Is Call of Duty too important? Like, is PlayStation really unable to compete just if they don't have
I
that
don't,
one
I don't
game
think that's
franchise?
even that much of a question. I think that clearly PlayStation is going to be quote unquote fine without Call of Duty. If Call of Duty were to go exclusive or whatever, PlayStation would be fine. However, that's not how the reality of the business would work. It's not how how Microsoft is even saying it's going to work. They're saying, no, we're going to keep it on PlayStation, but it gives Microsoft a lot more leverage every time PlayStation and Microsoft sit down at the table together. And that's what Jim Ryan doesn't want to deal with. He doesn't want to have to be like, shit, they had some chips before. We were mostly able to say, hey, no, Game Pass on PlayStation, never going to happen. Next time they sit down and maybe have that phone call, now Phil Spencer's got a much bigger stack in front of him and can sort of push Jim Ryan around a little bit, quite a bit more, and say, listen, it's not just about the microtransaction sales. A lot of people subscribe to PlayStation Plus just to be able to play Call of Duty online. I mean, if maybe we should get a little bit more of that money over here. Maybe we could split some of that money with us at Microsoft, since the game that we own is so important to that part. It's like, okay, well, you don't want to do that. Well, then what else can you do for me? And Jim Ryan's got to be like, well, I can't piss this guy off because this is important stuff that makes us a lot of money. $1 billion plus just from Activision each year. Now, some of that's going to be, Diablo or whatever, but most of it's Call of Duty. And if Jim Ryan can bypass those conversations by getting something written down, he's going to go for it. Now, is it fair? People are saying like, oh, like 10 years would be like, that's a long time to force have a government force a company to invest in their rival or whatever. I mean, I guess I agree. I don't really, but is the government going to see it that way? We have to wait and see to find out.
And Microsoft is definitely in the better position here because it's sort of a win-win. If they have to put Call of Duty on Sony, well, they'll make money from doing that.
Exactly.
And if they don't, then there's a benefit of, well, now Call of Duty is exclusive to the Xbox. It helps that brand. It's going to help Game Pass. So I can understand why PlayStation is the one that has the anxieties here, but it's also, I don't know. I don't want to say tough noogies. I do get it. And I especially get it if you are a PlayStation fan and that's what you have. Is you have a PlayStation, you don't have a gaming PC, you don't have an Xbox. I can understand your anxieties as well. Jeff, me and you are always a little bit less, I don't know about sympathetic, but maybe sympathetic to that because, we are so used to so many more games being exclusive back in the day, right?
Yeah, it's definitely got to be a part of it, yeah.
Yeah, and we're at this time now where things being exclusive is almost more of the trend in a lot of things but gaming. Like even movies, it used to just be like, well, everything just comes to DVD. Now it's like, well, you have to have this subscription service and that subscription service. Exclusivity is the way of the future, and maybe gaming does boomerang back to that a little bit eventually, or I don't know, maybe this. That's kind of the big thing here, Jeff, is that it seems like we had this era of good feelings where, Jim Ryan and Phil, they're friends and they're going to tweet about each other's games. So for them to have this kind of dirty laundry airing it's almost unsettling to see.
Yeah,
it
a little
again.
unbecoming.
Unbecoming is the word, not unsettling, unbecoming.
At the same time, also, it's so transparently both guys just doing their job that I sort of forgive them.
We don't have to take sides because, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, Microsoft has the big bank account. Phil Spencer should use the big bank account. Jim Bryan has the big platform and has all the momentum. He should be using that. And when it comes to time to argue over this stuff, he should make the point that there's a lot of PlayStation gamers and they might get left out in the cold. Sure, absolutely. And if you want to say that Microsoft is sort of just pretending, I believe you. I believe you when you say that you think that there's a chance that this deal could stop someday. It probably will. There's probably something where we'll get 4 or 5. The next generation launches. And something goes wrong with the deal, and all of a sudden Call of Duty in some significant way, probably not Warzone, but some significant way, isn't represented on PlayStation. That sounds completely plausible. At the same time, when it comes down to what do I think will happen, I think it's very unlikely that any of these government entities are going to be the ones to say, we are going to stop Microsoft from trying to compete in this specific way in order to save PlayStation from future pain. It's a weird concept. PlayStation will be able to compete just fine. And it would be a little bit like picking winners and losers if they were to try to stop this and say, no, we are picking the winner of this fight by saying, no, let's let PlayStation continue to have what it wants here. But we'll see. We'll see. I say all that, and we'll see what the UK ends up saying. That is just one regulatory era, and I think it would be kind of like a lowest common denominator thing, where if that's what it needs to happen in the UK, it would kind of apply everywhere. So we'll have to see.
All right, shit, Jeff, I figured it out.
All right, let's hear it.
What if the Queen was in Microsoft's pocket and was completely okay with this?
Yeah.
And Sony knew that whatever his name is, the new King guy was like a big PlayStation fanboy.
Yeah.
King
Charles.
Got Ape Escape merch all over the place.
Now, she did have a gold Wii, but she sold it because she got an Xbox, probably, right?
That's what happened. She needed it for that yacht when Parliament said she couldn't have one that one time, right?
Right, exactly.
So, yes. But yes, to be clear, what I'm saying
I could totally see. Wait. So
I
Jim
think
Ryan
Sony killed the Queen.
So Sony killed the Queen. That's our headline this week, everybody.
I'm confirming it here.
Yeah, it's.
You can quote me on that now.
We're gonna see what's gonna happen with all this. It's going to be. I do get the sense though, and I talked about this with Patrick Klepp this morning. This feels like the reason it's reaching this fever pitch between the two is because the deal is probably going to close pretty soon.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Like before the end of the year, and that's rapidly approaching, and so they're out there throwing kind of like their big haymakers. Maybe we get one more spat in the press. They're probably done doing this specific thing. It was fun while it lasted. The next time we hear from this, it'll probably be either from a regulator, or either that regulator saying, "Hey, we're moving this forward," or we're bringing them together for mediation, or we are going to close the deal.
I'm sorry.
Here it is.
It's just in chat right now. Who said just what? NAI said, "I don't like the fact that the Queen is gonna miss Sonic Frontiers."
God damn it! I didn't want to laugh like this about the Queen anymore.
Can you imagine
fuck.
living through you lived through World War II and all this shit, and most of Sonic, that's what you missed. She got. Oh God. All right, Jeff. I had one more question about this.
Yeah.
Sony's working a real one this time. I promise.
Oh, sure.
Sony's working on a lot of live service games. What are the chances that one of those is something very Call of Duty adjacent?
Yeah, I think there's a very high likelihood that they are working on a modern military shooter. And
Mag 2.
Mag 2. There it is, everybody.
Could be SOCOM. Why not?
Do they just make SOCOM a first-person shooter and put it out there and just say that's the most name recognition military shooter we have?
I mean, that's what they did with Battlefield, basically. Like, at some point, they basically just said, hey, starting with Battlefield 3, we now consider this a Call of Duty competitor.
Yeah. Like,
before that, it was always kind of felt like its own thing. It was just a matter of believing it and positioning it that much, right? So, if they brought back SOCOM and kind of just presented it as a big deal and gave it a bit more of a Call of Duty feel than it had back in the day, which would automatically happen anyways, then absolutely.
Yeah, and they're working on a lot of them, so just by the law of like large numbers, one of them was almost certainly a military shooter to begin with, and they probably likely knew that relying on Call of Duty for in perpetuity was never a good plan to begin with. In any of these they could have on their own and get 70% of the sales from, or 85% if most of the sales were happening on PlayStation, then they were going to do that anyhow. It's just that'll be a long, tough uphill climb.
Yes.
It just needs one of these live service games just needs to hit, and if that's the one, great. It has a potential to make a lot of money. But if it's not, one of the other ones could be their $1 billion per year game, and that'll go a long way towards solving any concerns Sony has going forward. All right, Mike, we are through the big topics that I wanted to discuss this week. Why don't we do some of these super chats, and then we'll hop into the questions from the Discord community.
We'll do that. We have a bunch here, actually. And guys, you can keep sending in super chats. We will read them before the end of the show. So we're not just, there's not just one segment here. But to start off with, from AJ Minotti, sounds like a nice guy. Happy Dreamcast Day Eve. What you gonna play? Well, I'm gonna be playing Splatoon because it's coming out tomorrow. But
you know what though? Splatoon got a lot of Dreamcast vibes.
It does have,
one of the most Dreamcasty vibes game that Nintendo's ever put out.
Well, because its vibe is so similar to Jet Grind Radio.
Absolutely,
yeah. You're 100% right.
The music though has got a lot of funk to it in a way that a lot of Dreamcast games did. Yeah.
Nintendo's online system is about as good as Dreamcast was.
Yes, right, yeah. Almost as fast as the 56K modem, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So I have Sonic Adventure DX, which was the launch game on the Dreamcast, so it also came out September 9th. So maybe I'll play that on my GameCube at some point tomorrow to celebrate Dreamcast Day. I won't play Dreamcast, but I'll play a Dreamcast Day.
Jared Bishop, he's gone.
Game.
He's gone. My new theory is Xbox Killer was the queen.
We haven't heard from him in a little bit. We kind of went off for a while. We were like, we like you, Xbox Killer. We'll try to be your friends so that you're not so lonely and anymore. Yeah, then we finally eventually we lost it because he just kept saying the same thing over. He ran out of good material.
Right, exactly. I'm like, no more playing the hits. We need something new.
Yeah. I think he had nothing new, so he's gone. Next one. Wait. Yeah, I am excited for. I always like Dreamcast Day though. Dreamcast is a great system.
Yeah, it's the day when I got my first car accident, so I remember it for that and for Dreamcast.
Zizzy asks, "Is Mikey still shaving the beard?" I'm not shaving the beard because there is going to be a Nintendo Direct, and it's very likely to be this month. But
yes, I think we're going to be
for some reason, there is not a Nintendo Direct this month. Yes, I will shave the beard, and yes, I will do it live.
It would be I mean, there's with the Directs. It's not just Nintendo. They have so many partners relying on them. And that's not to say that Nintendo wouldn't be just say, fuck you, figure it out on your own. They could and they would if it came to that. This does not feel like one of those situations, but, we'll see.
Jeremy G says, clown face emoji, clown face emoji, clown face emoji. Jeff Scrub coming up with excuses for more of his lies. Clown face emoji, clown face emoji, clown face emoji. Wouldn't that be something if a Nintendo Direct happens, people would be like, well, you said it was getting delayed.
Oh, 1,000% they're going to say that. 1,000. And it's just like, we just are telling you what we're hearing. What do you want from us?
Yeah. Also, for all you know, it did get delayed. It's not like you knew what date it was supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. We didn't say it was going to get delayed till like February. Ari, let's just say Ari. I'm sorry. I can't do it right now. Batman is dead. The Queen is dead. Who's next? Jeff Grubb.
Jeff Grubb is dead.
Jeff Grubb. No gear. Every time I think I have the power to pronounce a name and not sound like an idiot, I get scared halfway through.
That's me. Yep.
No Guerra. That's complete. That can't be right. But
Sounds
sorry,
good.
Ari. But thank you for
good.
the super chat. Appreciate it. Al Grug says, "What do you think of Nate saying announcement Monday regarding the Nintendo Direct on Twitter? He technically didn't say what Monday though."
No, he means this coming Monday. And I think that he is right. If all things are equal in the world, He like I said, Nintendo has not told third parties anything about a delay yet, which likely means that they, I think that likely means things are probably going as planned because Nintendo of Japan, Nintendo Company Limited has woke up and they probably could have made a decision by now. It almost certainly probably is going forward as planned. We'll know for sure by tomorrow from hearing from sources and stuff like that. I think that Nate is probably right that on Monday we will get it announced, and then we'll see what day it actually. That's the announcement. We'll see what day it actually takes place, but probably Wednesday because Thursday is the beginning of Tokyo Game Show, right? So probably Wednesday.
Yeah, Ari's trying to help me in chat now. No G Ira, is that right? We'll say that's right.
Nagara?
God damn it! You just probably hit it in one. Zizzy says we need your take on the AEW situation. Cody knew. Cody, I think maybe had a feeling. I think Cody's interests were mostly self-interest, which is not very unusual.
Cody knew what Cody wanted, I think, is what the vibes I get.
I think he knew that he was going to lose some influence backstage. I think CM Punk did have a reputation for kind of being awful backstage, so I'm sure that may have influenced his thinking. So maybe he knew in that regard. We talked about the AEW thing a lot on the Powerbomb cast, actually. So that was a good time.
If you want to have our thoughts, go listen to the Power Bombcast. It's available on the Giant Bomb Presents feed, but I think it's also on YouTube, right? Did we put it up on YouTube?
I think Giant was having a problem with the video feed on that one. The audio feed is on Giant Bomb somewhere.
Giant Bomb Presents. Just go to giantbomb.com and you can find it. It was a very, very fun discussion.
It was, yeah. I wonder if he ever did get. I don't think he ever was able to get it on YouTube for whatever reason.
We also still need to talk to Justin Bashan, our art director, our sweet little art boy. Because he went to the show and was there, so
right. That's the guy in the Giant Bomb shirt.
Yes, correct.
Yosemite Blam says, should we cancel Disney for their IP rampage? Love the shirt, Jeff. Leave nothing but the stash. Minotti. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. The IP, well, I don't know. Some of it's almost feels inconsequential, right? Like Disney got all that Fox stuff and like, I don't know. Did it matter? I guess it must have mattered.
I don't know. I feel like we're just in an era where this is happening. Eventually, we're gonna have to go through an era where people are making new IP. I guess. Right. I suppose
the
maybe
Simpsons
not.
can't be like relevant forever. Actually, right? Like eventually they have to at least become Flintstones relevant. Which, yeah, we know who the Flintstones are.
Or like, a tier above the Flintstones that's created by like culture being more permanent than it was before, but still old. And kids wanting new stuff, and counterculture becoming more powerful, and like swings in like embracing what came before, back toward rebelling against what came before. And right now it just feels like, we can, we are finding a lot of value in culture that was popular before, because it turns out right now that us, the millennials, are the biggest generation ever in America, and we have a lot of purchasing power. And eventually we're going to get old and crusty, and so the people that are going to replace us are going to want new stuff. So I'm kind of like, I'm not too worried about it actually in the long run.
Next one here is from John E. Is a PlayStation Showcase event happening this year? I mean, there's been a lot of rumors about them also doing something in September, Jeff. We haven't talked about that a lot, and it's not something we've reported on, but what are you hearing? I
mean, just that I expect there to be one because of the price increase. Really, this is just circumstantial where I don't think they announced the price increase and have the new system arrive in Japan with that price increase without having some games ready to go alongside that stuff. And so, I mean, we're coming up close to the 15th. I think we probably do get something next week, but that's just a guess. That's just a guess.
Yeah, no, just guessing on that one. The Andrew 13 says, at least Phil Spencer hasn't went Phil Brooks, which is CM Punk's real name. If you don't know, I bet he likes his cupcakes though, or they probably call them biscuits. Is every dessert just a biscuit over in England? Or pudding? They're all pudding, like pudding way.
You say Phil Spencer or Jim Ryan?
Oh shit, you're right. I get them mixed up all the fucking time.
I was getting them mixed up when I was talking about him earlier. Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan.
There you go. Let's just do that. Yeah. It covers all our bases.
Yeah, so people give me a picture of them combined. Do you use one of those AI
like
art things? Yeah, Gogeta. The Gogeta of gaming.
Next one is from Infernal Tim 1. How do we feel about mutton chops for Mike? Mutton chops.
I'd be interested in seeing it.
I think I tell you what, I think I could pull off mutton chops better than most people. But we're gonna have to go with a no, probably. As Spencer says, was the stress of seeing her favorite subject, Jim Ryan, in distress over the Activision deal. What did the Queen in? No, the bullet from the assassin's gun that Sony hired is what did the Queen in.
Because she is an Xbox fan. That's the narrative, everybody.
Am I going to get an email from Sony PR?
Yes.
Hey,
and
man,
maybe
why
from like Her Majesty's Secret Service, maybe.
Why? Hey man, why'd you say fuck Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah. I'll always cherish those emails.
That was great. I think that was the most indignant I ever saw you at work. Like, rightfully so, but it was great.
Yes, I was very much like, this is crazy. I'm just shooting shit on Twitter, and they want to, like, control me? Yeah.
For those who don't know, we Jeff one time said, because it was like Grand Theft Auto 5 was the best-selling game or something for like the 50th month in a row. We're just like, wow, fuck Grand Theft Auto, man. Not in like a negative way, but you know how people say it. But the old people at the PR at Take-Two got mad and messaged
or the people at Take-Two told the PR to get mad at us, which is actually probably more likely.
Right. I think all I did was liked and retweeted it. I got dragged into fun stuff. Then we went to their booth and drank their booze at E3 that year, so it was all good.
It was fun.
S. Spencer says, was the stress of seeing her... Oh, that's the one I already said about shooting the Queen.
About the assassination of the Queen, yeah. Yes.
Joseph Schmidt says, Game Awards podium hug is going to be real awkward this year. Yeah, it is. It's just going to be Tony Khan on a table next to Jim Ryan with all the fucking cupcakes. It's going to be great.
Jeff Keighley should be like, no, you have to hug every year, no matter what is happening. Like, he should find a way to like make that a binding agreement so that they have to do it. And yeah, it can get awkward, but we all get to just sit there and wait and like, are they going to swing at each other? I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Doug Bowser over there on the side, being like, why do I have to be a part of this?
Doug Bowser just taking a hit from a bong while they're fighting each other. Yeah.
That was great, actually. Jeff, that's it for Super Chats for now. We have some podcast producers questions to get to. How about we take a short break before that?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm going to hit the button. See you guys all in a second. All right, Mikey to go potty?
Oh, Mikey going potty.
All right, everybody. Well, Mike goes potty. I'm going to hang out with you, chat. How are you all doing tonight? I am getting sick. It's happening in real time. You want to watch a man succumb to an illness? Look at this right now. I started off the podcast right when I started, right when I came online. I was fine. I was yelling at Christian, one of my mods, and I felt the tickle in the back of my throat, and now it's like working its way down through my face. Enjoying Tinycam, right? What a fucking good game. Oh, and Major Blazers playing Paper Mario 64. The Queen made you sick. Maybe. They could have poisoned me already, definitely. You look good as hell, Jeff. What are you talking about? Yeah. I think I might look good. I'm not feeling great, though. Emmy's not, like, eating much. She's got an upset tummy. She's got a really sniffly nose. I put her to bed, but she, I gave her some medicine, and she spit that up immediately, so she started school every year. As soon as she starts school, this is how it goes. The king of pronunciation. You're the first person to ever say that. Nagara, right? Nagara, did I get it wrong this time? Usually that's how it goes, too, where the first time I might say it right, and the second time I screw it up.
What's going on? What happened?
I'm getting sick. King's over here, Jeff. I'm out of town for work, and my Steam Deck is clip. Such a necessity I didn't know I needed. Yes, it's so good.
I found a clip of Keely saying the Queen.
Okay, yeah. You have it? You gonna play it?
No. I need to work on it. It needs a little bit of editing.
Needs a little bit of juice. Okay, I understand.
Back.
All right, Mike is back. Fantastic.
I might be ready for the end of. I don't know.
And a very good bathroom break. Thank you.
Oh, hey, I'm very glad to hear that. All right,
nice.
Take Sudafed 12 hours. Yeah, right now, right before bed is the good time to take the Sudafed. Absolutely. Sudafed makes me feel super on edge.
Oh, there you go.
When I get the real stuff, because it's like it basically just speed light. It's diet speed. But yeah. All right. Let me bring us back in, Mike.
It's the good shit.
Okay, and we're back. Mike had a pee break. I'm feeling like I'm getting sick, but honestly, in my heart, I'm feeling great. So I'm ready to talk a little bit more about video games with you all here in the Discord sending in questions to us. Let's get to those. Well, if anyone from YouTube wants to send us more super chats, we'll get to those before the end of the show.
That's right.
Let's start here with Ed, who says, "Hi, gents. Any word on Jason Blundell's departure from Deviation Games? Wondering if it's a similar thing to when one of Haven's higher-ups left a month before Sony acquired them." I don't know. Mike's looking it up.
Yeah, I can hear my typing. Like, what the fuck is Deviation Games?
Deviation is one of those companies that's working with Sony, right? Like they have a deal with Sony. I don't know if Sony's acquiring them. Maybe. I'll say that I'll look into this, and the next time I do one of these shows,
their website is so obnoxious. It's like a movie. Go to this awful website.
All right.
I just wanted to get info on what they are, and it's like my cursor became like a giant white circle, and there's a bunch of text. I was like, "What's Deviation?"
Oh, I hate this.
Yeah, right. It's terrible.
It's like loading one word at a time on purpose.
And then there's like a picture of like their team meeting thing where they did tug of war, because of course you have to do that.
Okay, I'm closing this before they actually get to anything useful. I wonder if I can click on one of these other ones if we'll go right there. Yeah, all about us. Okay, yes. Building a AAA video game requires heart, imagination, Deviation. Looks like there's a lot of people at this studio. I don't know. I don't have any insider info about this. We'll look into it. But I'll also say people leaving studios, just a very, very normal thing, especially these days. You can go somewhere else and get a lot more money almost all the time if you have any sort of name at all. Winnie wants to know, what's your favorite Queen song?
That's a good question, actually. Killer Queen is good.
Killer Queen rules. It does.
Yeah, Killer Queen's good. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody, it's obvious, but
Bohemian Rhapsody is great.
Oh no, I know. It's Don't Stop Me Now. Easy. Yeah. I'm a sex machine ready to reload, like an atom bomb about to explode. I'm burning through the sky. yeah, it's
For
good stuff.
Christmas this year, around that time, we should go to karaoke, Mike. We should rent one of those.
I've karaoke this song many times. So that's why
I want to do that because that is a good one. I like those ones. King is overrated says, hey, Jeff and Mike, glad to see the show live, even though I'm out of town. Just curious on if you guys think that PlayStation's good faith from the last generation is running out in this generation from their anti-consumer practices compared to Xbox. Now, I'm not one of those anti-consumer guys. Like, this is anti-consumer, this is pro-consumer.
Right.
It's all just business. It's all just companies trying to make money. And
we're all cattle to the farm for them.
Right. And sometimes their interests line up in such a way that we benefit from a good deal or something like that. But even then, I'm trying not to be taken in. I know it's just marketing. Now, all that said, I do think some of Sony's good faith among its fans is waning by a fraction of a fraction, but not enough to change things.
It has to be calculated when you raise prices. It's like, it's not what people aren't going to like you more when you do something like that, but you do it because like you think that the amount of money you're going to save or make is worth it. So yes, that's happening, but maybe it's worth it to them. We'll see. Look, if they keep making games that people really like and are really good, it's going to be fine. If people start getting really stagnated on things like God of War and Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, right? If we don't get like the next sort of new generation of these things, and if people like turn on The Last of Us, even if Last of Us Part 3 is the next one, who knows? Probably not. Maybe there'll be some trepidation, but I think they'll probably be okay for at least a few more years.
Yeah, agreed. Let's see, Ed, hi. Oh, no, I read that one, my bad. Laotian. Hey, Mike, Last of Us superfan Minotti, and Jeff, make sexual intercourse to the beat Grubb. Hope your week has gone well. I am not into Silent Hill, so my opinion doesn't matter. I don't get why there's a huge fuss over the rumors that Bloober Team is remaking a Silent Hill game. It hasn't been shown. No one knows if it is great or dog shit. Why undermine the devs in the games before anything is shown?
So I'm not a big Silent Hill fan. I have not played anything Bloober Team has made. My understanding from the people I know, like Jess, like Voidberger, who like Silent Hill a lot and don't want Bloober Team doing it, is that Bloober Team usually when they do these kind of things, like most of their horror is sort of blamed on mental illness, right? Like that's the scary people is because they're insane. Like it's a very old horror trope, and it's not particularly great these days. That's one. I bet that is one of many reasons, Jeff. That's the one that I know about.
Yep, and people are gonna have high hopes, and they're gonna have opinions of other studios. And if they have high hopes for a Silent Hill game, and they have low opinion of Bloober Team, it's easy for that anxiety to take over and be like, well, now I'm worried about this game. Now, all that said, if they do show the game and it looks good, maybe a lot of those concerns will go away. We'll see.
And again, if it's about like their narrative stuff, and if it's just a pretty one-to-one remake, which for Silent Hill 2 is maybe what you should do instead of the Resident Evil 2 remake approach really anyways, then maybe it'll be fine. But again, I don't know.
Let's see, from the Uncharted Wolf 5. Hey, Jeff, stop asking me about Zelda Remasters Grubb. And Mike, why is my name never said first? Minotti. Have you ever had a game that you know is mediocre or outright bad, but you love it because it's in an IP or franchise you love? I know for sure that Jack X is a bad game, but I can't get over playing as my favorite characters, destroying cars while mid-2000s butt rock plays.
I like Sonic Spinball. It's bad. Its music is awful. It uses that farty Genesis Gems soundboard thing or whatever. Like it sounds terrible. It runs at 30 frames per second or worse. So it's really grungy. It controls awkwardly, and I still kind of love it. I almost love the fact that it's like the one Sonic game that acknowledges characters from that Sonic Saturday morning AM cartoon show. Like Sally Acorn is in it, and like the bonus stage, and I like that about it.
My answer for this one is almost always the same thing, but I'm just gonna say it again. The Bounty Hunter Star Wars game. I like it because it's Star Wars and it does some cool stuff with Star Wars, while also being a pretty different take on what a Star Wars game can be. It's mediocre, and I like it.
Has that one been remastered, or should I just get the GameCube version of that one?
I would just get the GameCube version of that one. It hasn't been remastered.
There you go, then.
And I wonder what the chances of it get. A lot of those prequel era games, I wonder if any of those have a real shot of getting the remaster treatment.
They haven't done Jedi Power Battles, and if they haven't done that, which it feels like is a pretty easy.
I wonder what
easy
the
hit.
best-selling prequel era video game is. It's probably like Naboo Starfighter, or maybe
Well,
no, maybe it's like the PlayStation 1 Phantom Menace game.
I'm about to say, I wouldn't be shocked if it was. Well, you know which one it probably is actually that Episode 3 game on like PlayStation 2. I feel like that actually sold pretty well. The Phantom Menace game, I feel like did so well. And I actually kind of like that game.
Pod Racer is a good one, chat. That's a good one.
Well, and Pod Racer was remastered, so that one, yeah. And that is like maybe my favorite Star Wars game, or at least it's up there with KOTOR and Rogue Leader. I love Episode 1 Pod Racer. It's fantastic.
You're right, that did get remastered, so it's like maybe there's a chance for some of those other ones, but I bet that was also the best-selling one, so yeah. All right, let's see here. From Major Phazon. Hello, Mike and Jeff, in quotations, if those are even your real names.
Apparently it's Mitch. Oh, Dan slipped up today, Jeff. He called me Mike.
Did he call you Mike? Oh, it's happening.
He called me Mike during Sonic 06.
The walls are breaking down. The walls are falling.
He was so distracted by what was happening in Sonic 06 that he said Mike. It was
Mr.
actually
Riker,
kind of
tear down these walls.
It was weird to hear.
That's what the Cold War was about.
That's what he knows about the Cold War, yeah.
My question for y'all tonight is the following. If Nintendo does a Zelda double pack, as we've been hoping / saying, will they try and pull that limited release shit again? Thanks. And also, ARMS should be heavily considered for Game Club. We'll take that into consideration.
For Game Club? That's a weird Game Club game. Does it even have a single player mode?
Well, you know what? Instead of that, maybe we should do Phazon. Maybe we should do a game night. I'd be willing to do
that
another
would be
game
the
night
thing
of
to do
ARMS.
with ARMS. I'd reinstall ARMS for
Do
a game
I own
night.
ARMS? I don't know if I own it. I think I do, but I don't remember. I should reinstall.
Is that a game they're still selling for $60? Even ARMS? That would be kind of wild.
All right, yeah, I'll look it up in a second. From Doc7. Hello, Mike. Echo adjacent Minotti and Jeff personally decided to delay the Nintendo Direct because the Queen died. Grubb. In solidarity with the deceased Queen, Miyamoto will canonically kill off one of the Mario or Zelda princesses. Which one will Miyamoto choose, and how will he do it?
Midna.
Midna, that's a princess? Oh, I guess she is a princess. She has the whole crown and everything.
Yeah, she's a princess. And she gets sexy at the end of the game.
I think he kills Peach. I think he kills Princess Peach.
Yeah.
I think he.
Is he jealous?
Well, I think he can't stand to be in a world where the Queen is dead and Princess Peach is alive because he just
As long as Daisy's okay, all right.
We didn't answer Uncharted Wolf's question. What was the question?
Oh, that's right. I thought there was maybe more of that.
You said, well, yeah, but have you ever had a game you know is mediocre, outright bad, but you love because it's an IP or franchise? Or
was that Uncharted Wolf?
That was Uncharted Wolf's question.
I think he's talking about someone else's question,
okay.
not his.
Oh, will they try to pull that limited release shit again?
Oh, right, yes.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
I think that was I think they were testing it out that 1 year. And even Mario 3D All-Stars, you could still find that in stores anyways, right? Like that. Yeah. I don't know what the hell that was all about.
I think they probably were trying to boost up ordering from retailers, and then retailers might have way over ordered, and now they're sitting on store shelves, so they probably won't try to do that same thing again.
No.
From Pinball RJ, been watching people play that new Pokemon clone Temtem this week, and was wondering, will anyone ever make a Pokemon style game as good or successful as Pokemon? The only thing that's come close to me is Monster Hunter Stories.
I mean, there's some things that come close-ish, like Yokai Watch was sort of like that. Not a giant hit
for
over
like
here,
2 games, and then it's sort of it's fallen off in Japan big time.
So that's already kind of done. So
yep.
So nothing's gonna. I don't know. You never want to say never, Jeff. Right?
I think we asked this in like a poll or something one time, and everyone's just like, "There's no chance, really."
Yeah. Well, I remember you were wondering because like Stardew Valley came out. It was like the game inspired by Harvest Moon that became more popular than Harvest Moon. It's like, could that happen with Pokemon? And not yet.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder if someone did if Xbox made like a AAA one and put it on everything, put it on PC and mobile phone and consoles and streaming or whatever. Like maybe it would require so many things to go right. I just think probably not.
Probably not.
Hey, this is from Pablo Cos. Hey, Beef and Cheddar amigos. Mike, what's your take on the new Disney Animal Crossing-like game? Wait, is this deja vu? Is there a glitch in the system? I don't know. What was he referencing with that?
Well, because they already made...
They
made games like these before. They made those Disney Magical Worlds games on 3DS, and they even ported Disney Magical Worlds 2 to the Switch not very long ago. But this game is even more just straight up Animal Crossing. And yeah, Disney Dream Flight Valley. I've actually been playing it. I was just playing it on stream even before this. I'll probably talk about it more later, Jeff, but I'm liking it. I'm having fun.
Yep, seems like you're really enjoying it from what I watched you play so far. So yeah,
it's buggy because it's early access. But the best bug is that even though like I put in a name in the beginning, everybody just calls me player name. So Mickey's like, "Hi, player name. How are you doing today?" Like, okay, all right, I'm great, Mickey. How are you? I'm great, player name. Like, all right, thanks.
Don't hate the player, hate the name.
Yeah.
From Epic Open World, Jeff, did you finish the pineapple and olive pizza? Mike, would you be brave enough to eat something that Dan Reichert ordered for you without knowing what it was?
No, and it's not fair because I think Dan and I are very similar in terms of we only want meat on our pizza.
Yeah.
So it's not fair for him to throw garbage like olive and pineapple at me. I would not go near that.
So here's how it went. I was starving when it arrived. So I ate a slice and I enjoyed it enough. So I ate like 2 more slices, and that was like half of this like small pizza and medium, whatever it was. And then later I went back and ate another slice, and then I started feeling pretty tired because I think
maybe this is why you're sick.
Yeah, maybe it was like way too much salt because it was a pile of olives and a pile of pineapple
Christ, that's disgusting.
under a huge amount of cheese. And it was like I guess if you're like sensitive to this stuff, be wary of what I'm about to say. It was a juicy pizza, which is not how you want to describe most pizzas.
No,
I
that's
think.
Disgusting. I don't like that.
It was fine tasting for the most part, but it was just like it really did me.
Ordered from
Happy's Pizza. I've never, but the box looked like so much like Little Caesars. I thought it was Little Caesars until I got all the way down here. I like looked at the box for real. I had it sit. The rest of it was sitting on the counter all night last night, and eventually I'm like, this is a pizza I'm not going to finish. It's just going to sit there. I'm never going to touch this again. I want it out of my house. So right then I picked it up and I took it out to the trash can and I threw like out the last 2 slices. So saved my life probably.
Probably. We need another Mikey's Pizza waffle and chicken.
Yeah,
pizza,
I was kind of half hoping he would have saw that and was like,
the
chicken waffle pizza. I'll get you that. That sounds terrible.
No, not that.
You dumb
fool.
bitch. Yeah. All right, Mr. Bowler. Hey, Jeff, why must Nintendo keep delaying things due to world events, Grubb? And Mike, I get all my news from Sonic 06, Minotti. In light of today's news, the question must be asked. Who are the best and worst monarchs in video games beyond the obvious choice of Princess Daisy?
Yeah, I was even thinking, Jeff, if I was going to make the next Nintendogs question for the community, who is your favorite Nintendo monarch or royal? Gosh, well, you have Emperor Dictator Mommy from the last Fire Emblem, which that's maybe not quite right. Emperors are different from kings, huh? Are they?
Are they? I don't think they're that. Like, what are you asking them? What's the question? Are you asking if they're emperors? They're both monarchs, right?
They're both just They're both kind of totalitarian.
Yeah, they both count. Yeah.
So maybe mommy, not mommy Dami. She's like student Dami, Emperor Mommy. What am I even saying anymore? What
You're saying mommy a whole lot, Mike. I
still get like pitches for like jobs I should apply for from something from 15 years ago, probably. One of them was for some place called Mommy Income. Like, get a job with Mommy Income. I was like, what the fuck is Mommy Income? Edelgard is who I'm talking about. Gosh, what's a good king? I feel like I could. When I think of kings, I think of like those real stout,
all of the kings from Super Mario Brothers 3 that have been turned into various animals.
Yeah. Oh, you know who everybody likes is the King of all cosmos. And I'm not even the biggest.
He's the best. You got it, Mike.
Yeah, I haven't even played a lot of Katamari, but that's probably the answer.
That's the best. You should play some Katamari. It's a good game.
King DDD also very good. Yes.
Yeah. I think I'm just realizing that like the king that got transformed in Super Mario Brothers the movie was supposed to be like a reference to the kings getting transformed in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, except he got transformed to like that disgusting like
fungus,
mushroom boogers. It was great, actually. Like, again, I think the effects work in that movie is very good. I understand that it's like unsettling and a weird like way to interpret Mario, but for what they're trying to do, they like went for it. There's like a lot of work put in there.
Hello, this is from Bench JC. Hello, Jeff, Grubb, and Mike. Gonna have to shave my beard, Minotti. Besides Call of Duty, what game should Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan compete in to gain Call of Duty permanently?
Oh, that's funny. So what should they play? They should do Super Smash Brothers, Final Destination, Fox only, no items. It's neutral ground.
It's perfectly fair. If that happened, I would put $1,000 on Phil Spencer.
I think Jim Ryan would try to use would use one of Fox's moves and kill himself immediately. Like you, 100%. Basically.
Yes, possibly.
Just like
I
you
did.
when you play Smash.
Just like I did. Yep. Fuck. Cran just
Basketball. Stock match, Nick Turbo. Don't ask stupid questions.
Cran just Basketball. Hello, Jeff and Mike. No question. Just here to say, if Mike doesn't shave his beard because of the Queen's death, then he's a coward. He is confirmed he will if it comes to that, but it's not.
If it comes, it's not going to come to that. It's not going to come to it.
From Hosp, hey yo, Messy Boys, with Splatoon 3 almost upon us, got me wondering what games like this do you first go into the single player campaign, or is it all? Oh, he said with games like this, do you first go into the single player campaign, or is it all about that online right away? I'm pretty rusty, so we'll be checking out the single player offerings. I go right into the online.
I will immediately do the online, but I bet even that night, especially when I'm in bed and playing for a bit, that's when I'll check out the single player for the first time.
Let's see. From Danger Man leads, hey guys, with the Cyberpunk 2077 expansion being current gen only despite releasing cross gen, I do wonder how other games will go on. Like, are we going to see non-mobile live service games really keep supporting last gen for years? I mean, at a certain point, Halo Infinite's no longer going to support last gen, right? Because how long are they going to run on that Xbox VCR?
This stuff happens. Like, I remember at one point Destiny stopped supporting the Xbox 360 era stuff. Final Fantasy 14 gave up on the PlayStation 3 version some time ago, and at some point it's going to give up on the PlayStation 4 version, right? So yeah, at some point.
From Velocity Prime 1, dear Jeff, a wooden boy, Grubb. And Mike, bang, Minotti.
There's got to be some way we can do a watch party of that. Man, I wish that I'd pay $200 for that to be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I wonder if we could I wonder if we can get the license, the public,
right?
The public premiere license or something. With the recent passing of a QE2, one has to wonder what Operation London Bridge you have for the other host. I.e., will Mike's funeral procession take place in Arby's drive-thru, and will Jeff's be done with a Naruto float? QE2 being the Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, I got it now. Yeah, I probably would want some sort of Viking funeral, but with a lot of Arby's and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
I hate funerals. I hate everything about it. I don't want a funeral. I don't know if you have to throw me in the trash like Frank Reynolds, but you could just kind of put me somewhere respectful. But you all don't have to come and see it happen.
Let's go. Mike finally died. Let's go see it for ourselves so we know he's not coming back.
Let's go make sure that asshole stays down.
All right, from Casual. Dear Michael and Jefferson, how do you feel about swapping Chris Pratt as Mario for Chris Pine? I love the idea. I love Chris Pine.
Chris Pine's great. Yeah. I mean, I liked him ever since I'm a bit of a Trekkie, so ever since Star Trek 09, was that when he was in? Right. I was like, oh, this guy's good. I like him. He's got charisma.
He's been around for a lot longer than that, but apparently that's where I definitely first saw him as well.
Yeah.
And he's been a lot of good stuff, and he seems like he has a good time acting, and he's always pretty personable whenever I see him in interviews. So I love it. Not that I have any problems with Chris Pratt. I'm over it. I'm over Chris Pratt stuff. So whatever. Except for it's still objectively funny that he's playing Mario.
Yeah, that is just funny no matter how you feel about it.
Right, no matter where, and you could come from another planet and someone could tell you that and you would immediately understand that is very funny. One Up versus CPU. How many Zelda announcements in a single direct do you think are required for it to be considered a Zelda blowout? How about a Zelda extravaganza? Listen.
I think that if it was just Twilight Princess Wind Waker and the name for Breath of the Wild 2, that's a blowout enough for me, Jeff.
Exactly right. Now, is it a capital B blowout? I don't know, but yeah, sure. I think that's a lot. That's a lot of Zelda stuff. To the point where, I'm imagining the last 10 minutes of the direct just being kind of, Eiji Aonuma coming out and saying, here's what's going on with Breath of the Wild 2.
Making me sweat by saving it for the end.
Yes, exactly. And here's the trailer, and when the trailer ends, it says the name. He comes back on the screen and says, and there's the name, and you're going to, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. We'll come back and answer it soon. In the meantime, you could be playing these games in the next coming months, and there you go. And then they end with, Twilight Prince. Maybe it's flipped, whatever. But that, to me, feels like a Zelda blowout, even if 25 minutes of it or 15 minutes of it is all other stuff. From Beefhammer, happy Thursday, Jeff. Inadequate on many levels, Grubb. And Mike will not complain about eating any trashy fast food, but will complain about having to eat at Chili's Minotti.
I mean, I didn't complain. I just said it wasn't very good. I'm not saying I was expecting it to be good. But I went to go see Top Gun Maverick with my buddy, and the place we wanted to go to was closed because it was Memorial Day or Labor Day. I was like, well, I guess you know what won't be closed and is by the movie theater, fucking Chili's. So, and I was right about that. They were in fact open.
Of course, you can always rely on Chili's.
That's the best thing I could say about that experience.
Let's see. Okay, no, he said, do you expect the Disney/Marvel showcase tomorrow will include any news from some of their collaborative efforts, such as Kingdom Hearts or Machine Games' Indiana Jones?
It's man, Jeff. I'm having a hard time knowing what to expect from this thing. Except for one thing, I have an embargo about. Okay. And the one thing I won't say what that is, but like it's not on that level.
I think that there's a chance we hear about one or the other of those two games. He says I can't muster up much interest for just some more Marvel or Star Wars games at this point. I don't think you're actually going to get a ton of Star Wars or even Marvel games because a couple of those Marvel games that I've reported on, I don't think they're going to be ready in any way to be shown. And what I've heard is like not even Jedi Survivor is going to be there. Like apparently that's not even going to be there. Maybe it will, but what I've heard is it won't be there. So yeah, it feels like those Star Wars are supposed to happen at a different like thing separate from all this. So
they could be talking about like stuff that's like just came out. They're going to talk about Dreamlight Valley. Just came out. They're going to talk about that one mobile game that's newish where like all the Disney people are fighting people and they have like edgier designs. Edgier is not the word. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. If they're going to be anything Marvel, I almost expect it to be Midnight Suns.
Yeah, good point. From Jedi Moss 4, good evening, Beef and Cheddar gents. During that big panel at PAX, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty was very excited about the prospect of using AI to do the QA for games. Many are concerned that the AI would eliminate QA and degrade the QA process. Others believe it is necessary as games continue to get bigger and more complex. Where do you think we end up on this question in the future? AI is coming for a lot of jobs. People are fair to be concerned about that. They're also, like, I don't know, getting mad in every specific instance. I mean, listen, more power to you. You shout about this stuff. Maybe this is another reason for QA people specifically to unionize. I think QA engineers and QA workers are going to be necessary for a very long time, even as AI does more and more. This is not exactly what he was talking about. However, No Man's Sky had AI QA testing. It had a little bot inside the game that would fly around the planets and take screenshots of all the worlds. And because the game was so big that no human could ever do all that stuff. So this thing was just working, and was constantly sending stuff to them so they could like look at random samples to try to find stuff that was out like weird and wacky so they could fix it and eliminate it. And all that did was create more work for a human person. So I'm not too concerned about this. They are like, what this does is it should theoretically free up the human QA workers to focus on more important stuff. And the games can get bigger because the AI can look at more stuff. And because the games are getting bigger, again, there's more work for the humans to do. That's the ideal world. I'm not saying there's no possibility of human jobs being eliminated. It's very likely. They're going to come for all our jobs, including me and Mike's. Like, they're coming for our jobs eventually, too. Like, there was an AI that was writing news stories 5 years ago, and it's probably getting better and better and better all the time.
Well, that's why we've been transitioning to on-screen entertainment personalities, Jeff.
Exactly,
right.
It's
going to take the robots a little bit longer for that one. Like that one,
maybe,
too. But we'll be dead by then,
match up a VTuber with an AI personality, and bam, no more Jeff Grubb eating anymore. So it sucks. It's terrible. It's a horrible future. It's scary. I don't blame anyone for being scared. Screaming Turbo Madden. Hello there, Mike. The Miz is tremendous wrestling representation from the state of Ohio, Minotti. And Jeff. That's absolutely true. And Jeff, holy crap, I got to play you week one in fantasy football, Grubb. Hey, bring it on. I'm excited. I showed up. I set up my picks.
I'm playing.
I set up my picks beforehand, so I didn't have to be there, but I showed up for the end and did a few other picks. I got to get another defense and drop a quarterback, but whatever. Since my quotes are themed on wrestling and football, I want to ask if you think we ever see another revival of NFL Blitz. It may be no Madden, but it's definitely beloved. What about another arcade sports game like NBA Jam or NHL Hits? Those are due for a resurgence in the same way that arcade racing has come back in the last couple of years, right?
I would hope so, but the problem is licensing is a lot more difficult with those things, right?
True. Yeah.
These
definitely.
days.
Yeah, but I think those it may be NFL Blitz for sure, but I think like some of these other leagues may be a little bit more open to it.
Who bought? Was it Microsoft who bought like that baseball game studio? I don't know if they did an arcadey baseball game, but like
no, that was
it wouldn't be Sony. Why would it be Sony?
Was it EA? It was EA that bought it.
Okay.
You're talking about Super Mega Baseball?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's EA.
Yeah.
EA bought that. They're actually releasing a new one of those in the first quarter of next year. So yeah.
And I looked at my fantasy, not in my league with you, but in my other league. I'm already off to a terrible start. A tight end who was supposed to get me 10 points has gotten me 1 point.
I have Josh Allen, and I don't think I started him this week.
Very good.
So how's he doing, everybody? Is he doing okay? I guess I'm not going to ask this audience. Only Screaming Turbo Madden really cares. All right. Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think that this style of game will make a comeback. You don't need to get the whole league. What you do is an NBA Street style thing where you get a few players, you make it like 3-on-3 or something like that, and you go from there. And I think that could really work. From Delta Prime, hey, Beef and Cheddar Boys, I know you guys are not monitor reviewers. I have done a few, actually. I wanted
Jeff
your
actually
take.
knows about this.
Yeah. 35-inch QD OLED from Alienware looks amazing, but it is made with Samsung's first-gen QD OLED tech. Do you think it might be worth waiting for a second-gen QD OLED tech to arrive next year, or should I just jump in with the already very impressive first-gen tech? What I've heard from I haven't tested this out myself, is it's good enough as is. You don't have to wait. If you find the right price right now, go for it. I think that you'll be really happy with it in the long run. So it's definitely something I've been looking at because this 4K monitor over here is dying. It's like actively dying. It's has like the pixels are sticking for seconds at a time. So yeah, it's about time I look for something new. From Dr. Suss, hey Mike, will you eat corn and tomatoes? Corn and tomatoes are fruit.
Almost never raw. Corn sometime, especially if it's like cooked and just kind of throwing things. Don't love it though. I eat a lot of tomato made things, but I don't eat like raw tomato. I would never eat a tomato slice. I think that's disgusting for some reason, but I make tomato like sauce obviously all the time because I'm
very juicy.
Minotti.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't like. Well, it's also goopy. Tomatoes are goopy,
Yeah,
and that's
they can be, for
disgusting
sure.
unless you. And I have like an immersion blender when I make my sauces too, so I really fucking blend that shit into like a smooth like sauce thing. I don't want chunks of the tomato or onion in there for sure.
All right, now here's Dr. Suss's real question. I think based on what you just said, the answer will be yes. Okay, real question. Did you love Fruit Ninja mobile games exclusively because you were destroying fruit?
No, I actually didn't like it because you would cut them and then you would see the gross insides of the fruit.
Right.
I mean, I liked Fruit Ninja fine. I didn't play a whole lot of it. I mostly played the Kinect version, actually.
Let's see, from Jamie H1224 here saying, I'm gonna call him Jamie H Christmas Eve. Jamie Christmas Eve crossed this out. It originally said, how long do you think the several years of COD on PlayStation will actually end up being? Okay, so that's why. He says, well, I guess Jim Ryan's letter answered that. So here's a new question. What franchise would you like to see Sony revive to best compete with Call of Duty? Siphon Filter, Killzone, or SOCOM? Now, not which one we think will happen. Which one will we prefer, Mike?
I mean, I don't have a great affinity for any of those, but even still, SOCOM.
SOCOM for me too.
Yeah.
Something about
Siphon
that.
Filters.
It's just something about like the early, like having the headset and knowing that people were playing like thousands of hours of SOCOM. There's something appealing about it back then to me.
I actively dislike Killzone, I think.
I think I do too, yeah.
Yeah, and Killzone had its time. We don't need to bring that one back. I don't know. Siphon Filter, I just watched somebody play through the first one, and it was weird how worse it was than I thought it would be. And there's a lot more Siphon Filters. Maybe I need to see the good one. But like that aged, especially when you even compare it to like Metal Gear Solid, which came out almost the same year. I'm like, that's weird. But even so, like Siphon Filter's not exactly like. Did it ever have like a big multiplayer mode? I don't even know.
Not that I remember, but I never played those games really, so I don't know. I actually just started one of them on my Retroid Pocket 3, one of the Vita or PS. I think the PSP one I started. Yeah. So
they made a bunch of them.
From Jump Matt, do you think the PSVR 2 will be successful? You'd think the success of the Quest will make it tougher for a more expensive wired VR system to take off. I think there's a chance it is lukewarm relative to the last PSVR. What do you think, Mike?
I think it'll do fine. I think it'll do about as well as the last one. I don't know. I can't see it being this like breakout, wow, VR is finally here now thing.
No, definitely not that. From Keywork, Sup Homies, considering Valve is privately owned, I was curious if you guys would know where they would stack in the gaming market cap. Considering the amount of money they take in per purchase, and being the leading digital distributor of PC games, I bet it is rather high. More than Nintendo, you think? Just curious. P.S. Mike, what are your thoughts on Tom Corliss, WDWNT? I don't know.
Oh, is that asshole? I know there's a guy from that site who sucks, so I don't want to speak because I'm not certain. I know there's somebody from that site who is awful that I never pay attention to. So
a wrestling site or something?
No, that's a Walt Disney World news site.
Oh, I see it now. Walt Disney World News.
Yeah, there's one. I know that there's somebody from I think that site who's always just like a negative and he's always like stoking fire. He's terrible. I'm not sure if that's who you're talking about, but if it is, then I don't like him. Gosh, what was the other part of the question now?
He said, let's see. Do you think PS4 VR2? Oh wait, that was the last question, right? This is how much money do you think?
Oh
Steam
yeah, the
makes
market cap
relative?
thing with Valve.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question, Jeff.
Yeah, I think it's probably up there. It's probably
It has
like
to be.
it has to be. It's probably right there between like PlayStation and Microsoft. So maybe not quite as much as
in terms of like their gaming market share.
Yeah,
like just
I'm sorry,
as companies?
PlayStation and Xbox. PlayStation and Xbox.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
I was about to say I don't know about Microsoft.
Yeah, PlayStation and Xbox. Like, I think it was like 10-cent PlayStation. I think maybe like Activision, then Xbox or something like that. Whatever it is, it's like in that range. Nintendo makes a lot of money. It probably is almost certainly more than Nintendo. Yeah.
Weird.
From Sakelin, hello boys. What would God of War Ragnarok have to do for you to be contending for Game of the Year? Would more of the same with a great story be enough? God of War 1 was never it never clicked for me. I thought it was boring. I'm sorry, everybody who's going to get mad at me for saying that again. But
I don't think there's anything it could do for Jeff to suddenly turn around on it.
I will not say that. I'll try God of War Ragnarok, and who knows? Maybe I've changed. Maybe they just like streamline it just enough. Maybe it's like it feels edited or something. I fall right into it. It's possible. I didn't dislike anything about God of War. I just found it a little boring. So there's probably some stuff they could do. What it could look like, I don't know. Maybe I'll tell you one thing. Don't take control away from me in the fights as much as you did in that first Baldur fight. That really like frustrated me for some reason. Where it's just like I'm like, oh, I'm swinging, I'm hitting the punch button, and then all of a sudden we're gonna go into a seamless cutscene of the fight continuing without any input for me. And I just find a way to to at least keep me in a little bit of control there. It doesn't have to be full control. It can still be very cinematic. But yeah, don't take control away from me.
I like the last God of War quite a bit. I'm sure I considered it for Game of the Year that year. I don't think I picked it. I don't know though what this. I guess the only thing that this one could do, assuming it's very similar, which I think is a safe assumption, is that its story is a bit more impactful. I think the last one's story was good. Didn't quite like have an emotional punch at the end to resonate and stay with me. And it's very hard for games to do that. If somehow it did that in an enormous way, then maybe. It already has really stiff competition this year. I'd be shocked if I thought it was Game of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be nearly impossible for anything to beat Elden Ring for me. So, yeah. That does it for the questions from the Discord community, Mike. I think we got a few more super chats. Let's hit that, and then let's talk about a few games.
Yes, we did. King is Overrated says, I feel like if anything goes to court, Xbox is going to air a lot of Sony's dirty laundry about their business practices as market leader. I mean, sure. I mean, Sony can come back and say some things about Microsoft too. I don't think it's like we're going to be able to prove in court that one video game company is a meaner jerk than the other one.
Right. And go to court. I'm not necessarily sure that's how it would work. Again, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but it would be further investigations and stuff like that. Maybe that would create an opportunity for Microsoft to ask for Discovery equivalent, so they could say, what is Sony doing, so we can compare apples to apples here, to really see who is pushing their weight around in the market, and why we need this to actually compete. But I get what you're saying. I think mostly it would not have to get to that point for the people in charge of these investigations to be like, we understand why you need this to compete, or why you feel you need this to compete.
Lucius Augusta says, I'm surprised both Jim Ryan and Sony were trending for 8 hours after these comments from Jim Ryan came out. Not the slam dunk he was hoping for. I mean, look, people love their drama and all kinds.
Yeah.
This whole wrestling thing, Jeff, whenever this happens, it always makes me think, I'm always very critical when people get like caught up in celebrity drama, like that whole thing going on with, I'm almost afraid to say it, Johnny Depp and whatever. I was like, how do you guys care about it? It's embarrassing. Like what you're doing is bad for society. Then as soon as there's wrestling drama, I'm like up until 3 a.m. like refreshing Reddit. Like, oh, is there any updates? It's just this weird human lizard brain thing we have. I don't know.
Yep, definitely. I feel like I could defend it, but you're right. It's basically the same thing, so why even try? And I was definitely the same way. I've been that way this whole week. I'll say that a big part of it, like trending, is I think people want to play up the drama of it, and there's definitely people on the PlayStation side of things who are like, thank God Jim Ryan's stepping up and he's owning Xbox finally. And then, like, whatever you think of that assessment of things, there's definitely a thirst on the PlayStation side for some strong leadership out of Jim Ryan. And anything that even sniffs a little bit like that, they are going to latch onto it and promote it. And every single one of those creators has put out a video being like, Jim Ryan exposes Xbox monopoly. And it's like, oh, okay, all right, whatever, homie, you go to town. But so that's a big part of it. Like, it was like a chance to create a lot of content, and that got a lot of people talking, and yeah, so it stayed in the conversation for a little bit longer.
Brett Bingham says, can we have a poll of who is more reviled in the gaming community, Don Matrick or Jim Ryan? I mean, we could, Jeff. I think I'd be shocked if Jim Ryan didn't win it with our specific community.
Right. I mean, Don Matrick doesn't even rate anymore. It's been years. It's been forever. It's been almost 10 years.
People forgot about the Xbox One all-in-one media device by now.
That was like literally 10 years ago, right? When we were hearing about that? I guess it's closer to like 9 years, but like, yeah, a decade. So
we haven't had a good poll in a while, though, but I don't know if that's the poll.
Yeah, we'll come up with another one. We know that Jim Ryan would win that one.
King is overrated says, as the newly self-appointed King of England, I shall make a decree that Mikey needs to shave his beard and maybe one eyebrow. Jesus Christ, one eyebrow. I might have to go outside sometimes. The Andrew 13 says, if the Queen is an X-bot, then is a Halo 21 teabag salute the appropriate tribute?
Absolutely.
Yes. No, we have to play that weird sex song.
Mm-hmm. You got a question about that.
To the beat.
Yeah.
Whatever the beat is. Antonioni said that Sonic Adventure DX is a bad version of Adventure, unfortunately. I suggest playing the OG release. Jeff, I'm stealing the Mario Donkey Kong 3D game idea. I think I have heard that. I think the Steam version is based off of DX. But look, that's the one I can easily play right now. It's either the Steam version or
I missed it. Which game are we talking about?
Sonic Adventure DX. So, like,
okay.
He's saying, like, the Dreamcast version is better. I don't have an easy way to connect my Dreamcast to my capture card right now, and I've been doing this whole GameCube thing anyway, so we'll play DX for fun.
Right.
Look, if it's not great, that's okay. Danny Mitchell says, does this drama help the deal? Phil could be like, okay, we will sign a consent decree, Call of Duty on PlayStation forever. Okay, regulators? Call of Duty is still on Game Pass for free. Deal is done. I mean, yeah, does it matter ultimately if Microsoft just has it on Game Pass anyways? Is that enough of an edge?
Yeah, I think it's something of an edge. I also think like his like underlying point here of like, if the goal for Microsoft is overall the deal goes through, I think he might be onto something with like this drama helps because Jim Ryan is so hyper fixated on Call of Duty that Phil Spencer could just say, okay, let's figure out something with Call of Duty, and then we're all good, right? No more complaints. And then the rest of the deal goes through without a hitch. And he's like, okay, well, now we got all of King and we have all of WoW. I mean, come on. They have like as much as WoW's on a downturn, that thing's still got to be making them millions of dollars every month just automatically, right? So, yeah, I think there might be something to that where like they could see a clear path forward now to make sure the deal actually 100% goes through.
Next one here is from Jay Mills. Hey, guys. Playing Midnight Fight Express and having a ball. How did such a fun beat 'em up go under the radar? Speaking of that, Black Myth Wukong, Second Coming of Ninja. He says Ninja Garden, but I think he might need Ninja Gaiden. Why is no
I
one
would love a game called Ninja
talking
Garden,
about?
though.
That's actually, I think he accidentally just came up with an incredible game idea. Man, that sounds great.
It sounds incredible.
That sounds hilarious. Yeah, I haven't heard much about either of these games myself. I just looked up Midnight Flay Express. It's like a top-down kind of a beat 'em up thing with like a bit of an old school low poly design to it, I think.
I played the demo. It's pretty cool. It's like a technical beat 'em up. With where once you come across the guys with guns, it's like really difficult until you upgrade your character and stuff. I think its big issue is that if you want one of these, you are probably actually want Sifu in most cases. And now
that was an early 2022 game,
right? And I think this one is like a slightly different than what I think most people will be expecting, even though it does seem very cool.
This is the game you guys did talk about this on Bombcast or something. Okay.
Yes, and we played a little bit of on a UPF where we did a bunch of demos after E3, I think.
Uriel Delgado says, "Do you think Atlas brings their 3DS ports to Switch?" I'm trying to think what that would be. They did do a port of Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. Maybe there is the dual screen thing to get past, and maybe they could. It seems like they're better. They're happier, sort of bringing new SMT stuff aside from the Persona games. Persona games is going to last them for a bit, anyways. Not anytime soon, I guess is my answer. I would suspect. And then Ariel Delgado says, "Mike, can you play the sex song on your flute thing?"
Yeah, Mike.
Okay, what? Wait, no, what's the note?
Oh, I can fuck to this. Yeah.
It was just one note, I think, actually. So it was just like...
I don't think it's just one note, is it?
I mean, that sounds like it to me. I mean, I think it's just one note pretty much. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounded like a fucking dolphin to me.
Get the pumping. Yeah. Grubb like.
Black Link Firelink says, "Do you guys have any insight into what's going on with Overwatch 2 right now? Some huge leaks recently. Seems like a disaster over at Blizzard." Yeah, we didn't talk about this, Jeff. I don't know how much you've heard about this. People are kind of freaking out because it's sounding like... We don't have a full picture here. They haven't said that much officially. But, like, characters, like, new heroes are going to be on the Battle Pass.
Oh, yes, I did see this. They were like trying to clarify something, and they're like, it's going to be on the free path of the Battle Pass. And
right, so
like, well, fuck that.
Well, yeah, that's... Okay, I guess that's better to be on only the paid version, but also, like, before we just got the characters, and now people are like, well, what happens when that Battle Pass is done? So, I don't know, Jeff. There's a lot of stuff about this that's weird, and... I definitely think that a lot of people are going to be like, I liked it better when we just paid $20 or $40 or whatever it was, and we just had Overwatch. But
you better have an option to do just that, right? Where you pay
$40. Oh, there's going to be no option to pay $40 and get everything forever.
No, not everything. $40 and you get all the characters.
Well, you get all the characters that are out now, but they're going to keep introducing them. Like in Overwatch 1, you always got everything for free. The only DLC was ever loot boxes, and that was only ever cosmetics. And that was it. And now it's going to be your battle passes.
Right. It's probably going to be it's going to be a backlash, and in 6 months, this is going to be undone.
Backlash. There's going to be I don't know exactly what that thing is. I don't know if they're going to course correct. I bet they don't. There will be a backlash. Yes. So we'll see. And that stuff's happening soon. So we'll see. Jeff, that's it for the super chats.
Awesome. I've been playing more Tiny Ken, Mike, and every time I was picking up my Steam Deck, and I'm like, man, we talked about Dragon's Crown. I've always wanted to play that. I'm going to install that. I'm going to play as that big titty witch. It's going to be awesome. And then I picked it up and I turned it on, and Tiny Ken was still there. I'm like, oh, this game. And I started playing more of that, and I'm like, just immediately get right back in that game. It's so easy to pick up and start like, oh, there's more to discover because this game owns that stuff. And it's like, man, I tapped this all out. I guess I'll go to the next room. And you go to the next room, and it's like, oh, man, there's so much more here to discover. And immediately 5 things I see I want to go do right away. Tiny Ken owns. It's on Game Pass. Everyone should go play it.
Yeah, I do need to get to it. There's a lot of stuff I'm playing right now, but I do want to get there, and I will eventually. I think like the opening night stuff for D23 might have actually been happening, so that's interesting. That's the Disney thing that this video game thing they're doing is going to be.
It seems like it must be because there's like stuff happening on the app today that was like alluding to that. I think so. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear what's going on.
I need
with
to see when their parks and resorts panel is, because that's when they announce stuff I really care the most about, all the theme park stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of Disney. I was playing a lot of Dreamlight Valley, like I talked about. I probably have played about 5 hours of it so far. And it is, like when you're looking at it, it's like, okay, what is this? Is this more Sims? Is this more Animal Crossing? It is very Animal Crossing. That is very specifically what they're going for. So like to the point where if you were to make a Disney Animal Crossing game and you were like, well, who should be Tom Nook? I guess Scrooge McDuck. That's exactly what they did, right? Like they go for a lot of obvious things like that, and it actually works. It works out pretty well.
I found it to be. I just started it, and I started it in a time when I didn't have a lot of time to like read everything, so I was rushing through. My fault, 100%. I'll say it feels busy visually.
Really?
I think maybe most of that is just like they've filled like a lot of those squares with those with the thorns.
Oh, I think yes, that's exactly what it is. Because you're supposed to be. That is one of the Harvest Moony things about it. It reminds me when you first or Stardew Valley, and you first start, and like your farm's just covered in shit, and like your first day is kind of cleaning up. That part of it is very Harvest Moony.
And it's like so with Stardew Valley, it was I could easily understand that I'm going to clean this stuff up and I'll have a clean space. This is like I can see all these other places, or I can like see a horizon where there's like other places for me to potentially go to, and then like the mess also looks like it just kind of goes on forever because I'm at a lower vantage point, so the mess feels a little bit more overwhelming to me to begin with. But again, I just started it, I wasn't reading a lot, so you've kept playing. It seems like you've gotten into a groove with it where you are constantly kind of staying on these fun treadmills.
Yeah, I mean, there's this the gameplay loop is it's pretty good. You're constantly earning like this one currency from basically doing like, remember how the last Assassin's Creed, the last Animal Crossing, like had those Nook points, right? Like you do your dailies, like you fish 5 times. There's like 1,000% more of those, and you're just constantly getting this currency, and you can use that and gold, which you get again more from just like selling things to Goofy, like your fish and your crops, to unlock upgrades to your house or to business, or to unlock those new areas of the map, or to unlock new like portals to go to, so you can recruit characters like Wally to come to your village. And that aspect is like, again, don't like go overboard with this comparison, a little Viva Pinata-esque, where you go, you meet a character, and like you have to kind of complete a chain of side quests to get him to move into the Dreamlight Valley. Yeah, it's neat. And, the customization stuff is very good. Not only you can customize your house, you can also do it outside. And it's similar to Animal Crossing, but like, you can use the mouse and keyboard, or even on your controller. You have much better control. It's not literally just walk your character, go in your inventory, and like throw it out to place it there. You can actually just like get a grid and like really easily do this stuff. So that's pretty nice. And the other nice thing too is, like a lot of it, like each of the Disney characters, they have their own like little friendship like meter leveling up system. You get rewards for leveling them up. You can also just make them follow you, and you can assign each of them a skill. Like you can make Scrooge McDuck good at mining. So if he's following you while you're mining, then he will like give you extra mining materials. But also anything you do while you have one of these guys following you makes them happy, and it increases like their friendship level and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a good loop. Like, bugs have been a problem. There's like a quest breaking bug right now where I'm trying to recruit Wally, and even though I got an item I need for the quest, it's just not showing my inventory, and it's a very well known bug. So it is early accessy in that way, but other than like the bugs, it feels pretty feature complete.
I am gonna play a little bit more of it on the Steam Deck, because I started here on the desktop. I'll put it on the Steam Deck, see how I feel about it there. If I get into it, I get into it. If I don't, no big deal. It's fine. It always seems the kind of thing where it's like, this is going to be a big thing for a certain audience, and you being among them. So
the Disney thing is definitely helping. I mean, I talked about Scrooge McDuck being there from the beginning. I like Scrooge McDuck a lot. And even like the music, they have like their own arrangements of a lot of like Disney songs. When you go inside your house, you have a radio that plays them, and it's just it's pretty cozy if you're a Disney fan.
Yep. And also Kevin pointed out Wall-E confirmed for Criterion Collection UHD. That was incredible. Wall-E coming to Criterion.
I saw that. Jeff, I actually don't like. I know Criterion Collection is like this thing. I actually don't know why people like. What does that mean? Why is that better than just getting a Blu-ray?
I mean, early in the DVD times, it was like you knew it was going to be a perfect transfer, so it was going to look incredible, and you were going to get like all of the extra stuff in there, and it was going to be presented in a really professional way. Nowadays, it's a little bit less important, but because a lot of that stuff is either pretty standard or you're going to watch it on like some digital service anyhow. But if you care about having a physical disc in your collection, if you get the Criterion, you sort of know you have the canonical right version going forward, period. And that's not 100% of the time, but most of the time that's true. And they also would like bring back movies that weren't as easily available.
Criterion?
I think it's just Criterion's their own company.
Okay.
Criterion's on their own.
Have they done a Disney animated movie before?
I don't think so. I think that's one of the reasons it's such a big deal.
It's almost surprising, like Wall-E's the first one, not like something older, like Fantasia, right, or what have you.
Right.
I love Wall-E, so it's good.
Propaganda Panda says first time. How's it
first
going, Panda?
time.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't know. Splatoon's coming out tomorrow. Honestly, it's probably out now. Honestly, right? If not in like about an hour. So, I am going to play a lot of that. I'm very much looking forward to Splatoon. I was very frustrated to go on Rebecca's show, Nintendo Shack, and have her tell me that she has it already. So, and all the reviews out from everybody. So, yeah, whatever. I'll get the code when I get it.
I didn't get an early copy either, Jeff. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, that's okay. We're the real games. We're going to pay it for ourselves. So that I'll take a code if I get one. Fuck it. All right, Mike. Should we get out of? Oh, I think we got a couple of more super chats, right?
Did we? Oh, we just got one. One last from pillar to post. From pillar to post, off topic. But how about that Punk versus Elite drama? Yeah, that's something. Pillar again. Well, we did a wrestling podcast with Giant Bomb. Power Bomb. We talked about it quite a bit extensively. So maybe slightly outdated in terms of Dynamite hadn't happened yet. Right. But I don't know. I think I'm team. This is all Punk's fault, at least mostly Punk's fault.
I think it's hopefully it kind of can all come out eventually, but I think once it does, it's going to be very clear that that Punk is the problem. And once
there's going to be very interesting books to read in like 10 years.
I agree. These problems will mostly evaporate and almost won't exist anymore.
Yeah, like Dynamite was I was feeling really kind of crummy about this because like AEW is like, oh my god, this is like the beginning and the end. And then they had a very good episode of Dynamite with just a lot of really good wrestling on Wednesday, and it made me feel a lot better. And
a lot of like leaders, the actual leaders of locker room stepping up and doing their part to say,
God bless John Moxley. Oh my God.
John Moxley is a fucking hero.
Just a stud.
Yes.
Just incredible.
Just incredible stuff. So go listen to that Power Bombcast on Giant Bomb. We will probably be doing another episode very soon. So if you want to, we talk a lot about wrestling on Giant Bomb, and I've been enjoying it.
Propaganda Panda saying, is it crazy there's no word on Punk? I mean, they're doing an investigation, and they're taking their time with it, and they can take their time with it, because Punk tore his, he has an injury of some kind anyways, and he was going to be out for 8 months regardless. Surgery. Right, so it's like, we guess we could take our time here. The question is just,
32 points for Allen? God damn it. I knew I should have. I didn't know I should have started, but I just didn't think about it that much.
Do we have so we're doing this in my fantasy league this year. It's kind of fun. I think we should do it. A last place punishment. Yes.
That keeps people playing, right? It will keep people engaged.
Right. Ours should be a gaming themed one. So maybe Battle Wonderworld is something.
Yeah, it is like a possibility there,
and it is on brand for us. Like Looser would have to play a Battle in the World for 5 hours or something like that. We can consider it. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll come up with something, but there is going to be a punishment for finishing last place. So if you're in the league, do your best, and then keeps people, because sometimes there's always people who just stop checking in, and then it's easy wins for people who go against them, right? So yes,
right. And then if you are first place, there is like a little bit of money set aside. Now I'll buy you something as part of that, probably some games or something.
What if I win first place?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm not worried about that.
Wow, I won my league last year. I have the crown.
That was the fluke. Why were you playing against children? Jesus.
My brothers and their friends.
We'll figure it out. I don't know. I'll probably just give you money. I don't know. It's your money anyhow.
I like that. Money. It's our money, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to hit the button and get us out of here, Mike. What do you say?
Let's do that.
All right. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can... Oh, my God. They're doing a 30 Years of the Muppet Christmas Carol panel at D23 on Saturday. Why am I not there? Yeah, I won't have to watch that later. You can find me on Twitter at Tokoto, on Twitch at Tokoto. I'm going to be on Giant Bomb tomorrow with Jeff on Unprofessional Fridays at 4 p.m. We're reacting to this Disney thing. 4 p.m. Eastern, I want to say specifically. So that's going to be fun.
Yes. Look out for that. That'll be happening. I have Game Mess mornings tomorrow. I'll be hanging out with Tam. We'll be talking about the news, and then then UPF will be the first part. Will be a live reacts to the Disney thing, and then we'll be playing Splatoon after that. And I'm looking forward to both those things. Saturday, I might try to get online and react to the Assassin's Creed stuff, but in like a casual, like lean back in my chair sort of way.
The Parks and Resort thing, it looks like it's Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Maybe I'll do a stream and react to that.
Cool. And then I don't know. You got any plans for the weekend, Mike?
I'm like almost scared that I don't think there are, because again, usually there's something I have to do with the family, and I don't think I actually have any plans, which sounds nice. We'll see. I'm sure I'm gonna be reminded of a birthday party or something I forgot about.
I might be going to the zoo, the Columbus Zoo. So we'll see.
Columbus. Have you been to Seabus since you've been back yet?
I have not. I will get down there though if Emmy is not feeling too bad, and if I'm not sick. I guess we're about to find out for sure whether or not I'm going to Columbus Zoo. But
hey, lots of people watching today. Thanks everybody.
Yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate that. If you're
even
showing
though
up
Jeff yelled at you.
Well, I think they might have liked that actually. I might do some more of that in the future.
I thought they liked it when I'm mad. I was like, do they like it if Jeff's mad? They probably
I don't think if I was like that every episode, no. When it comes out every once in a while, I think everyone's like, all right, Daddy's home. This feels good. Daddy's home. Yeah,
Daddy
that's right.
eats first.
Yeah, Daddy eats
which is
first.
very different. But I just think that's a funny thing to say. I think Cody Rhodes used to say that all the time.
That sounds like a Cody Rhodes thing.
Yes, Daddy eats first.
Mamma mia, a talking Cody Rhodes. Yep, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Wow.
The queen is dead.
Jesus.
Anyone here a fan of Justin? The queen is dead.